Hello everybody. So today we're going to be taking a look at the tropics, including Tropical Storm Dorian and Tropical Depression 6 off the East Coast and Dorian's in the Caribbean. So first we're taking a look at Dorian. Tropical Storm, 50-mile-per-hour winds. Pressure is up from the last advisory as well as the winds are down. Pressure sitting at 1005 millibars. We do have tropical storm warnings that have been posted for Puerto Rico. Ahead of the storm is still down to the south of there. But you can see still tropical storm warnings for the Lesser Antilles, tropical storm watches as you get south. I do expect these will probably get lifted. And also, there's a hurricane watch for Puerto Rico and part of the Dominican Republic. The new thing with this forecast is it shows this it becoming a tropical storm barely passing over the Dominican Republic, which means it would, if this were to happen, Florida and the Bahamas would be a greater threat because the mountains wouldn't tear this thing to, if it went directly through the Dominican Republic, all the mountains would tear the storm to shreds, and it would go in, but it wouldn't come out as anything, just some remnant moisture, and that would what ends up with in Florida and the Bahamas. But right now, looks like it's going to go on the edge of it, so it has a better chance of maintaining that strength. Here's the wind speed probabilities for Dorian. Here's the percentages of sustained tropical storm force winds, which is greater than 39 miles per hour. You can see 80 to 90% chance down into the Lesser Antilles, and about a 70% chance on the edge of Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. And even towards Florida, chances of sustained tropical storm force winds are starting to go on to the increase, 30 to 40% chance there. And the Bahamas now have a 30 to 50% chance of sustained tropical storm force winds. Here's the probabilities of 50 knot greater winds. So you can see it's decent as you heads to the south of Puerto Rico, about 50%. Even towards Florida and the Bahamas, it's increasing as well. And then the probabilities for hurricane force winds, it's very low, but it is still there. It's about a 5 to 10% chance. Here's the the earliest and reasonable time of sustained tropical storm force winds. So it'll be in Puerto Rico. The earliest time will be between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. or even noon for the earliest start time of arrival. Preparation should be done today in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. You still have a couple days. You still have a day or two on the Bahamas and Florida as well. If this doesn't show where it could go straight through the Dominican Republic, and we won't have anything here in Florida or the Bahamas, or it could go squeeze between Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, and we could have a tropical storm or a hurricane going towards Florida. So it's all dependent on where it tracks. They're saying this is a more difficult than normal forecast for this storm because of how small it is and where it's passing. If it were passing to the north, it would be much easier to. But since it's passing here, it's a small system. There's some wind shear and stuff. It's a difficult forecast right now until it passes the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Now we'll take a look at Tropical Depression 6 off the East Coast. This has 35 mile per hour winds, and the central pressure is at 1010 millibars. It's moving southeast at 2 miles an hour, so it's a slow move right now, but then it's going to end up going to the north. Here's the cone, and you can see it's going to stay well off to it's going to stay well off the coast, New England, and the East Coast. Just some rough surf expected. And strong rip currents from about Portland, Maine, down to about Charleston, South Carolina. So there's put the pinpoint. This is where the center could go. And also to note with Dorian, and I'll go back real quick. The cone of uncertainty does include a decent amount of Florida. So Florida should be unaware because this is pointing directly at Florida. So be prepared, Florida. After it passes Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, we should know a lot more, and it'll be an easier forecast. Here's the wind speed probabilities. Yesterday they had the 5% chance, the really low chance, into portions of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New England. Now they bumped it out, just includes Nantucket. But yeah, not well-developed storm right now. It may not even develop into a tropical storm. There's only a small chance of sustained 50-knot greater winds and a 0% chance of hurricane-force winds. Now we'll take a look at the guidance for the storms. Start off with Tropical Storm Dorian. So we'll go to the intensity guidance first. What most models are showing. Most models show it basically just tropical storm, maybe getting up into that Cat 1 strength. Got that one outlier that brings it to Cat 3. Not gonna happen. In most models, just as I said, just brings it, keeps it a tropical storm, and some bring it to Cat 1, a storm, maybe even a low Cat 2, but I think tropical storm is most likely what's going to happen. We'll take a look at some of the guidance. Spaghetti plots, what it shows. It's, as you can see, it's still all over the place. Usually, you'd have them all tight together if it was certain, but it still shows everything all over the place. Some models bring it directly through Dominican Republic, which would completely crush the storm, and they don't last long. This is the official line, the black line. You can see it brings it scraping the edge of the Dominican Republic and maintaining that strength as it heads towards Florida. And some of the models bring it through Puerto Rico, but bring it up the east coast. And some other models bring it over Dominican Republic, and with the remnant moisture, most likely brings it towards South Florida, and some even bring it into the Gulf of Mexico, which that would be bad because the Gulf of Mexico waters are really warm right now. We'll take a look at the GFS ensemble track, and you can see the GFS shows most models actually show it going over the Dominican Republic, which will weaken the storm significantly. But what it shows is it goes through South Florida, goes into the Gulf of Mexico, and it could make a landfall. It could make a landfall near Miami, and then another one near Tallahassee, or near Mobile or Biloxi, and then some even in Louisiana and Texas. So, basically, it's super far out. Basically, so it's a difficult track right now. I have a feeling we're gonna get better guidance in once this passes the Dominican Republic. And we'll take a look at Tropical Depression 6 in the intensity guidance. Most bring it to low-end tropical storm, or even just keep it a depression. So again, this does not have much faith of development since it is super far north. Take a look at the EPS guidance. Again, takes it to the Canadian Maritimes, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, all those areas. Take a look at the GFS ensemble track, and again, they're on pretty good agreement with what happens with Depression 6. So that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you are in the path of Dorian, you should prepare now. And we will have better guidance again once this passes the Dominican Republic. Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.